First of all, let me thank you for this opportunity and use this opportunity to thank and commend all the various faith-based organizations and CSOs that have spoken and about this recent developments. And I've listened to a lot of their analysis, and I must commend all well-meaning Ghanaians for speaking out. But I think there's something missing. In all these analysis, the emphasis has been on what I'll call the symptoms rather than the actual root cause. So if you have malaria, one of the symptoms is headache. So if you experience headache and you take paracetamol, that headache may go, but it will come back because the underlying malaria has not been treated unless you take a malaria shot. And that is what we are faced with. People are dealing with the symptoms, the police behavior and the military behavior and all that. But the root cause, which somehow seems to elude many people, is that what is happening is a deliberate, well calculated strategy of the Nana Addo Dankwa-led MPP government and his security apparatus. It is deliberate. It is a calculated attempt to sow fear into the hearts of Ghanaians. It is meant to cow citizens into submission in order to prevent them from any form of protest or speaking up against all the negative things that are going on in the country. So that is the root cause. Until we begin to see it from that perspective, all the analysis will just be dealing with the symptoms. And somebody will ask, oh, but this is far-fetched, why are you saying that? I'm going to give you copious examples. January 9th, 2017, policemen at Flagstaff House were assaulted, a policeman, by invincible forces. Nothing happened. February 22nd, 2017, MPP's Kandahar boys attacked the Tamale Teaching Hospital CEO. Nothing happens. March 2017, attack on the Ashanti Regional Security Coordinator in Kumasi. Nothing happened. March 30th, 2017, invincible forces attack school feeding caterers in Atebobo. Nothing happens. April 2017, Delta forces storm a Kumasi court and free 13 suspects in open court. What happened? Eventually, they were given 1,800 cedis fine. And in fact, they said they were told that they will be fined 1,800. So before going to court, they all had 1,800 in their pockets. July 27, 2017, Delta forces stormed Ashanti Regional MMT Terminal over a new director who had been appointed. August 1st, 2017, invincible forces threatened chaos over jobs in Tema. We all saw it on TV. Nothing happened to them. October 16, 2017, Kandahar boys locked up school feeding offices in Tamale. May 2021, Delta forces attack Ashanti Regional Security Coordinator. Then we had the almighty Ayawaso West Wagon incident. In fact, when Ayawaso West Wagon happened, those of us who watched it, we thought that Ghana couldn't sing any lower. It was as if you were watching a movie or watching one of those war-torn countries where a sitting member of parliament was slapped. And so the president set up a commission of inquiry with the powers of a high court. Very notable people were on it. They did a thorough job, even though we had our reservations as NDC. They did a thorough job. What has happened to their recommendations? Almost 60% of those recommendations were jettisoned by the white paper. Now, the rest of the recommendations, what has happened to them? So if the president and his MPP government were committed to ensuring that these things do not recur, that would have been an opportunity for them to have taken drastic action. As I speak today, absolutely nothing has happened to any of the people who engage in those dastardly acts. In fact, in their white paper, they said that the one who slapped the member of parliament was provoked. Is that not a tacit endorsement of their action? Where you have a situation where the regional commander, the district police commander, and all the security persons said they did not know who authorized them. And the committee made recommendations. Disband the SWAT team at the National Security Secretariat. Do you know what they did? They rather went back to Parliament and went and amended the act to legalize the SWAT team so that the national security could have a standby force. This is state endorsing illegality. We all saw what happened at Plecho, where innocent La people were beaten to pulp. The shooting of a gentleman in a shaman by military people who were told that there was going to be an internal inquiry. Where is the report of that inquiry? We saw what happened during the registration. How Akumson admitted that she fired a gun for the first time in the history of this country. Poor Silas died in Banda during registration. It's never happened before. Bloodshed, beatings, violence. Nobody has been called to book. The minister who admitted to shooting, what has happened to her? She has been appointed a minister and promoted and made a cabinet minister. Do you know that cabinet ministers earn more money than normal ministers? So that should tell you that the president actually endorses that kind of behavior. Then come 2020 elections, Techiman South, where these same people, supposed soldiers, but in my view, they are not soldiers. In fact, when we went to Nigeria, we have evidence that those people who came, they had beards and they were wearing earrings. These are those Kandahar boys and all those guys that they have embedded into the national security apparatus. They are the ones, and we saw the video of somebody kneeling down and shooting innocent human beings. And as I've said, you look at all the precedents, nothing has happened. And I'll be surprised if anything happens. Now, you take, for example, Azugu. He was asked to be removed from a national security SWAT. He's still there. Colonel, what's his name again? Frank Ajimine, who supposedly was redeployed to the military headquarters, army headquarters, has now been promoted as the commander of the elite of the Ghana Armed Forces, the 64 Regiment. Somebody does wrong in one entity, and then he's sent to go and head an elite of an elite regiment. Is that not promotion and endorsement? Recently, we saw what happened to Caleb Kuda and the other lady. All these things have happened, and absolutely nothing has happened because it's a calculated move, strategy by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and his security apparatus to deliberately cow Ghanaians into submission. This is a strategy that has been used in many, many, many other African countries and other African countries where they virtually hold elections every 4 years. But in actuality, it is a dictatorship. Many, many countries, even some of them surrounding us. So that is the strategy that they adopted. Until we begin to do the analysis from that perspective, we'll be missing the point. The police people, the recruitment of unfit people, the training orientation, those are symptoms. But the reality, the root cause is that this is a deliberate strategy. So it's about time we begin to look at those things from that perspective. Now, if you look at what happened in Nigeria, first of all, this young man, Kaka, is an activist of the Economic Fighters League. So it's something he's been doing even before this fixed the country. NDC time, he was doing it, posting videos, pictures, and all that. Now, his own party people threatened him that he was making the government unpopular. In fact, they went beyond that and then reported him to the police. The police invited him and gave him a warning letter. Subsequent to that, he is attacked, assaulted, and subsequently dies out of his injuries. 2 people are arrested who were in Nigeria, who are said to be known bodyguards of the MC. And then out of the blue, They said the brother of the same person has been arrested, and he was the one who murdered him. Does it make sense to you? The person who received several threats. So was it the brother who issued those threats? Was it the brother who reported him to the police? Was it the brother who issued him the warning letter? Was it the brother who was complaining about his activities? So you can see that there is a deliberate attempt to obfuscate the issues and cover up. Indeed, the woman so-called witness, her first statement to the police, what did she say? She said she saw people, but she didn't even know who they were. And then that same person, we are told the husband is an MPP activist who was out of town, comes back, and this woman changes her testimony. Yesterday when we went there, both Kaka's mother and Kaka's wife, in tears, she said, look, leave our innocent brother alone. We don't even have access to him. We don't even know where he is. Where is that young man? So you can see that it's an attempt to sweep the issues under the carpet, divert attention, and cover up. Again, you see the statement of the regional security apparatus, their PRO. He says that the marauding youth, they were holding cutlasses, sticks, and even guns. So the policemen and soldiers were being attacked. Which policeman or soldier got injured? We all watched the video. Look at the distance between the policemen and the crowd. And we all saw that they were even retreating. And we went to the hospital. And the people were shot in the back. They were retreating. How do you shoot people in the back and you claim they attacked you? So, this is all part of a certain culture of impunity to create fear and panic in the society. What Sam Jonas spoke about, people cannot speak, people don't want to speak, and is a threat to our democracy. So we have asked that the MC should be removed, the Ashanti Regional Commander should be interdicted, because he's already ab initio, they are already telling lies, falsehood. You know, as for the committee that has been established, I feel very sorry for them, because the government, by its actions and inactions, has already created a credibility problem for them. If a whole commission backed by law made recommendations and they were jettisoned, then what would the ministerial committee do? So the members of the committee, the two others, I don't know them. Dr. Vladimir Chidanso was my lecturer at Lesia. When it comes to academic competence, I don't have any doubts about him at all. But of late, his political statements make me have questions whether he'll be neutral and objective. And you can check. This is the man who, after the election, said this was the best elections ever. An election where, unprecedented, 8 people died. And you say this was the best election in the history of Ghana. He doesn't find anything wrong with people dying during the elections. He doesn't see anything wrong. This is an election where we had rejected ballots, the highest percentage in the history of this country, over 300,000. So, well, maybe they'll prove me wrong, but we're entitled to have our doubts. So we'll wait to see. In any case, they've been given on 9 days into this major issue. We are waiting for them to disappoint us. The danger of these things, and before I go into that, we have reason to believe, and when we went to Adria, we got that information, that most of these incidents are not being perpetrated by the regular soldiers and policemen. But some operatives, invincible forces, Delta forces, have been embedded into the security apparatus, and they are the ones who have been engaging in these acts. Now, to the regular policemen and soldiers who allow themselves to be used or allow the system, because the Ghana police, military, they are high-level professionals, decent people. They go for peacekeeping, they win awards. Now, for those who allow themselves to be used for these purposes, they should know that crime has no statute of limitation. One day, they will account. They will definitely be held accountable. So when they are giving these orders, they should be careful. They will be held accountable. Now, the danger is that there's a growing loss of confidence in the military and, unfortunately, the police as at first instance and the military. The military has been a very revered institution. They only come in as a matter of last resort. Now, add that to what happened in Y yesterday, and then you know where we are heading towards, where people were just being beaten left, right, and center. I mean, what kind of society is this? But they will do that because they've seen what happened in Ayawaso, West Wagon, what happened in Plecho, what happened in Ashama, what happened during the registration, and they know that nothing will happen to them. All those instances where they promised an internal inquiry, what have we seen? Who has been disciplined? So we are heading towards a place where people will lose confidence in the security system and they will resort to self-help. That's the first danger. The second danger is people would want to seek reprisals. That is the danger. The level of anger growing. The La people are angry. Ejura people are angry. Techima people are angry. Ayawaso West Wagon people are angry. The way it is going, and it appears that the state, which is rather supposed to protect them, rather covers them up. People may be tempted to seek reprisal. The third danger is that external forces can come into the fray, recruit some of these young men, and God forbid, you have a serious crisis on your hands. Already, we are told that Boko Haram is just at the border if they have not entered the country already. Recently, there was a video of a so-called Ghanaian suicide bomber. These are dangers that we face as a country. If these things are not dealt with, the democracy that we have all striven for, the democracy that we've all worked for, Ghana has been touted as a beacon of democracy in the sub-region, it will be endangered. It's already been endangered. The gains have been eroded. All the gains that we've made, consolidation of democracy, is all gone. There's nothing. So it is important that. And then another danger is that it is becoming clear, and I'm saying that the Nana Addo Dankwa-led MPP administration, they are doing this in order to gain electoral advantage. So that during elections, they will unleash violence. We also saw what happened at various collation centers, and use force to win elections. Now, when you get to that stage, and others also decide that they will also meet you with force, do you think this country can be governable? Now, because we don't want to get there, that is why it is important that we begin to arise. Citizens must arise and speak. In a democracy, when these things happen, the people who are quiet and you don't speak, you're also complicit. So media people, clergy people, I recently saw a video of bishops in Nigeria demonstrating against the government over issues. It's about time, if you hear of any demonstration, be it being organized by Fix the Country, NDC, any concerned citizens, when the issues are relevant, please get on board. Don't wait for anybody to bring you back. Walk from your house. Join them. And let's speak against these things. Let's demonstrate against these things to save our country and our democracy. Because where we are heading is not looking good.